We are working in a new way of collaboration. If you think about the way that you work now, it's completely different to the way you would have worked 15 years ago. Flexible working, working from home, the advent of wireless, mobile devices, the ability to access your voicemail, your email, your instant messages from anywhere in the world, whether that's an internet kiosk or a mobile phone. People now want flexibility in working that they didn't demand 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we were all very office-based, 9 to 5 structured task workers. Now, there's a lot more flexibility in it. We work in geographically displaced companies, global companies with offices all over the world, and everybody wants to have access to whatever they need to inside the office, outside the office for collaboration and communication. But also from the IT side, you've got a much, much stronger need for regulatory compliance. Think about Sarbanes-Oxley and the downfall of Enron. Think about compliance that government organisations need to have, for example, in cases of sexual harassment, bullying, intimidation, racism, sexism, for example. How do you stop harassment via email, bullying, cyberbullying by instant messaging? So the need for compliance tools inside an organisation is growing with every product release. Privacy is very important. Maintaining your online brand is very important now. What employer does not do a search to find out whether you've been caught in compromising positions on photographs on Facebook, for example, or have been quite insulting about the general nature of companies? Or maybe if you've got a Twitter account, you might have been insulting to a prospective customer. Privacy, online privacy, as well as data privacy, is a major issue as well. And this is a headache for the IT operator and the IT administrator inside an organisation. Also, with the huge amount and variety of tools that are available at the moment, how do you get integration? If you think back 20 years when IT was just starting in the personal computer space, nothing worked with anything else. Now you switch on, you want everything to work with everything else. You install a new piece of hardware, you expect it to work with whatever application, whatever operating system you happen to be using. And this wasn't the case, even go back 10 years ago. And you want, in an IT environment, you want to be able to connect to anything from anywhere, inside or outside of the firewall. And also, we've all got lives, although some technical geeks don't want to have lives at all. Their work is their life. I think it's a little bit more so in the developer world, where code to live, live to code. It's an ethos if you're a developer, because you want to write the next bit and the next wonderful application. But from the IT professional, who might be an IT administrator at work, they are an IT consumer at home. They might have some media center type device at home that stores their recorded TV. They've got mobile devices, more than one mobile device quite often. They might decide to play games, either isolated or online. There's a huge burgeoning trend for consumer-led applications. And also the flexibility that working mothers might need, the ability to be able to log back on after the kids have gone to bed and maintain a semblance of work-life balance is very important to people. And people need to be connected, because it's the people that are driving success in a business. And also, 20 years ago, people expected to stay in a job for a good chunk of their career. Now, people are coming out of university and expecting to stay in a job for a couple of years. If you ask your father how long he was in his roles throughout his career, he will be saying more than 10 years in each job now. People want instant gratification, instant job. They don't consider a company as a career. They consider a job, a task, and move on to the next one. Because IT is moving very much away from the mainframe world, the pendulum swinging towards the consumer PC, and then it's swinging back with the applications of software plus services, software as a service, for storage in the cloud, applications in the cloud, and to be able to access this data from anywhere on any device. And these are huge challenges for IT administrators now. Also, the ability to be able to work anywhere should be breeding innovation in the marketplace. As IT's moved in towards a consumer environment with the perpetual beta and Web 2.0 and the social media side of developing, applications. Things are a lot more fluid, a lot more dynamic, and with the advent of Web 2.0 social media tools like Facebook, the ability to customize your own working environment on whatever browser you want to use, or whether that's a mobile device or a PC. The key thing is an information worker who uses collaborative tools wants to access anything at any time on any device. So how do we, as an enterprise company, alongside a lot of other enterprise companies, actually encompass all of these needs? Because traditionally there was email. Traditionally it was mainframe-based email, old green screen email, and then we got offshoots of email systems, which were isolated environments. You've also got faxes. If you remember faxes, small businesses still use faxes extensively. The consumerization of IT meant instant messaging clients started to proliferate. And instant messaging clients like AOL Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, MSN Messenger, initially used in the consumer space, now is needed in the IT space. Then you've got voicemail. Traditional phone-based systems with a PBX inside a company with a direct dialing system, and a specified telecoms engineer who needs to actually manage and maintain the system. And the trouble is with the busy lives, voicemail tag. Some companies love voicemail, some companies love to use email. But the thing is, these are siloed pieces of information. And email, who doesn't get enough emails nowadays? With the wider bandwidth on the internet, we're getting huge amounts of email. And the bandwidth's being clogged up because 95% of all email messages sent on the internet are spam. So thank goodness most of them don't get through. But we've got too many emails. The reply all button should be banished, in my opinion. Yes, me too, me too, me too. Email overload. Voicemail overload. Phones, texting, instant messaging. And how many of you have got more than one phone? Like a phone for home and maybe a BlackBerry, and a netbook, and a laptop, and a PC at home. There's a lot of nods here, and this is all supposed to increase our productivity as opposed to increasing our time. So how can we get over this? Traditional infrastructure environments had traditional PBXs where you made a telephone call, it was routed through, you left a voicemail, and somewhere in the system that voicemail was saved and retrieved or forwarded at a later stage. You also had an email through a PC, and you could have a very long conversation with somebody about whether or not you wanted to go down the pub with them after work. Or you sent them a long email because you were harassing them for a budget proposal that needed to be in on Tuesday, only to get an out-of-office message, which is annoying enough to find out that you've wasted an hour typing this comprehensive email and the guy's off for 3 weeks. Or the guy's forgotten to send his out-of-office message, and that's when you find out that you didn't even need to send that email at all for another 3 weeks. You don't even know he's out of the office, so you send him another email harassing him for this budget. So we've got two parallel investments here in the IT infrastructure world. Wouldn't it be great if we connected them all together? Well, software's evolved in such a way in which a PBX can have a wrapper around it so that voice over IP phones can take the PBX call, and because it's using IP, you can store that data anywhere. And now we can bring different types of communications into your PC. So this allows the PC to become a universal repository. And because you've got mobile phones that can access your email repository that is currently on your PC, your phone becomes the universal repository for IM, web, email, and voicemail.